were able to move around a little bit with just the little flurries. They're cute. They're cute. They're not messing with the roadways. All right, joining us now is the head football coach from Pawhuska High School. The Pawhuska Huskies had a tremendous year today into the semifinals in Class A, and just like he's done about everywhere he's gone, Matt Hennessey is building a juggernaut. Matt Hennessey joins us, and his wide receiver, who committed to Oklahoma State last night, Mason Gilkey. And gentlemen, good morning.
Hey, Robert, good to be on.
Good morning.
Mason, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Mason, let's start with you. And for folks that didn't hear our show earlier, Mason's 6'4", 100. I'm saying 185. He can correct me if that's wrong. But he's a tremendous athlete, speed, got a 36-inch vertical. He's impressive on the basketball court, which I know Mike Gundy, the head coach at Oklahoma State's always loved good basketball players, playing football as well. But how surprising was all this for you, Mason? And kind of take us through what happened to you with regards to your recruiting yesterday.
Well, it started off with me sending Phil to Josh Gonzalez. Just telling him to take a look at the film, see if he's interested, just keep word with me. And as time went on, Casey Dunn contacted me, which was very surprising and very unexpected. And he was talking to me, wanted to see some clips of me, and just get to know me as a person, as an individual. He talked to Coach Heno, of course, and I see that worked out really well. And then, lo and behold, yesterday, he calls me and wants to get me on the phone with Coach Gundy, which, words can't explain how amazed I was, and it was so unexpected. And then he was talking to me, telling me he wanted me to come play for them. And so I took time to talk to my family. And once I talked to them, we just knew I was going to go there. So called back Gundy last night and told him I was coming. And I wanted to take that scholarship.
Well, and Coach, you and I talked last night. You coach at a Class A school. You've got a lot of talented kids. I know the defensive tackle that's going to UCO. My son coaches another team in that conference, and he ain't looking forward to having to deal with that kid. He's a heck of a player. You've got other guys, and I know you promote your guys. How rewarding was this for you? Because the thing you told me last night, Matt, is, and Class 6A, you coached at Muskogee. You've seen 4- and 5-star guys, and I know how high you think of Mason. It's just that Class A stigma, isn't it, Coach?
It is. Any small school you take, when we were at Locust Grove, nobody would take Mason Fine. That was kind of my first experience being in a small school. I'd always been in big schools. So, that they're rolling through every day. And, whether you got kids or not that could play that year, OU's rolling through, OSU's rolling through, all the big schools are rolling through every year. And you got to work a little harder at it. And the big thing is, and I don't doubt the colleges. I totally understand. The kid they're playing against. Yeah, Mason looks amazing on film. Jamar, Big D tackle you're talking about, he looked amazing on film. Bryce was doing crazy things, putting up crazy numbers. But the competition, they're watching the guy they're across from, like, okay, well, that kid's not very good. And so, it is what it is. And this year with COVID made it even harder because the kids couldn't go to their camps and show them in person. The colleges couldn't come see them on purpose. UCO got a steal getting Jamar because they were able to be here. The D2s were able to get out. And because, I think he'd have been D1 without a doubt. I think Bryce would have gone even bigger than North Texas probably. But it's a special place right now. I knew when we came in here 4 years ago when I took the job, 3 years ago, Mason was going to be a freshman, that group. And, when they called me, I was perfectly happy at Locust Grove. I'm like, man, I'm not going anywhere. I just did the whole rebuild job. And we did it at Locust Grove. I've got everything headed the right way. I'm super happy. And then they started showing me the facility, showing me the commitment of the town, the community, the administration. Then they started talking about this 8th grade class that hadn't lost a game in grade school, hadn't lost a game in junior high. And, I started looking at these guys like, whoa. And so, I mean, there's 4 or 5 of them in Mason's class that I think will have a chance to, go D1, D2, go play college football. And so, but no, it was getting the. What's funny, Robert, as I'm on the elliptical, I usually pick out something to watch, and I've been watching y'all's documentary that you did this year, which is crazy. So I've never met Casey Dunn in person. Of course, I know Mike. We played against each other in high school, played against each other in college. I mean, we go way back. But then all of a sudden, my phone rings and it's Casey Dunn. And the thing about Mason, I'll just tell you, Robert. He asked me. I talked to him for about an hour, and I was like, he's like, all right, there's got to be something negative. I said, well, if I've got to pick out something negative, because it's hard to find something negative about Mason. It's just that he's such a competitor. He would get down on himself a little bit when he was younger, and he's getting better at that. And it's the one thing he's still got to work on a little bit. But he's a 4-time gold medalist in track his freshman year. He won 4 gold medals. He'd have been a 16-time gold medalist if they had not had canceled track last year. And I think that's the big deal. It's not his high school coach saying, yeah, he's really fast. We've got recorded, documented proof that how fast he is. So they're getting a steal. He's a great kid, 4.0 student, and they're getting a good one with Mason.
Now, Mason, let me get a couple of things in with you, and I'll let you go because you got class and everything going on. And is the game with Dewey, the basketball game, on tonight?
No, it's canceled. Sadly.
Ah, man, bummer. That's a bummer. My mother-in-law went to Pawhuska High School. My father-in-law went to Dewey. So that this is my in-laws' rivalry game. So, all right. Well, let's still get you out of here. How much, when you talk to Casey Dunn and you're following what's going on, Oklahoma State's kind of been like a wide receiver Tylan Wallace is the latest guy. What a tremendous guy for us to cover. I mean, I've had a blast. Before him, James Washington. You've had a lot of guys come through here and Casey Dunn's kind of the common denominator. He is he's an excellent receiver coach. How much did that play into you making your decision, saying, "Look, I'm not going to wait around. This is where a wide receiver. It's where I want to be." How much was that played into it?
Well, first things first, OSU is always my dream school. I've always wanted to go to OSU. Ever since I was little, it's been a dream. So it came to reality, which is crazy. But as I was talking to Coach Dunn, and I can just see how genuine of a guy he was and how much he actually cared. And just how it was more than just a athlete to coach kind of thing. It was kind of a friendship thing, So just seeing that, I can tell the love he has for all his players, and something I really want to be around.
Well, and Coach mentioned you're a 4-point student. By the way, I'll mention this for folks who haven't seen Pawhuska. They sport the orange and black. They look good in it, so you're not gonna have to change your wardrobe much. Your colors will stay the same, which is convenient. But what do you want to study? I mean, that's the real coach can tell you. When he was a linebacker at K-State, need to get that degree. Do you have a good clue as to what you want to study in college?
Not necessarily, but I think I'm going to take a route in business or maybe some PT. But I do know whatever I take my path in, I'll definitely get there and succeed with OSU.
Well, and boy, they got a tremendous business school over there. And now you've got basketball going on right now. I've seen some of your basketball highlights. Coach mentioned, the pandemic robbed you of being a potential 16-time gold medalist in track. But will you go straight from basketball back to track?
Pretty the whole thing. I think we'll have track this year, but can't really say.
Yeah. Hopefully everything's going to get better. Hopefully we're going to get past this and start moving back to a little more normalcy. But congratulations to your folks, all your coaches at Pawhuska, because when somebody offers to pay for your college, and Coach Hennessey can vouch for this, that's a pretty big honor. And for your folks, for you, for the rest of your life, that's to get that degree. That's a game changer. So you did it with your football abilities, earning that. But congratulations to all you and your family.
Thank you.
Hey, Mason, we appreciate it. We'll let you go. we'll keep Coach on here for a few minutes. Although if you want to stay and listen to what he has to say about you, I don't mind that. You can do that if you want, but I think I can guarantee it's all going to be good. So, but Mason, I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
All right, no, thank you for your time, Coach. I've seen a lot of Class A football. I went out in the summer before Dr. Ivan here said you can't go anywhere on Friday nights. I went out during fall camp and went out to Thomas to see Aiden Kelly, who had committed to Oklahoma State. And I want to see how close I am on this. If Aiden Kelly had been at Jinx, and you coached it, you were defensive coordinator at Jinx. You know what that's
Correct.
like. You coached at Muskogee as a head coach. You put a kid like Aiden Kelly at Jinx, 6'3", 285, 90-pound defensive tackle, plays like he does. That kid's a 5-star. He got Army All-American, even though they didn't have the game. And he's probably got 50 offers. If you take Mason with the ability he has, and you had him at Muskogee when you were head coach there, what are people thinking about him now?
The same thing. I mean, we had Jamil Owens, was my receiver there, and he was the number one receiver in the state, and Stacey McGee. We actually had the number 1 and number 2 player, and Jamil burned out on football and is doing great in business now. I'm proud of him. Stacey's still playing. Stacey just picked up and signed for agent again. He retired and then picked up and signed again. But Mason fits right in there, and the thing is because his work ethic and his drive. I mean, this kid. So you asked him the question, and I was proud of him also in his interview. I mean, you can tell he's super smart. That's pretty much his first interview. I mean, I guess he went up with me a couple times on the TV after the games, but for the most part, he hadn't done a whole bunch of interviewing yet. So, there's a little bit of art form to it, and I thought he did really well today. But you asked him, does he go straight to track? One of the things I did when I came here, and I did it at Locust Grove too, is we went to no off season. We have a no off season rule. So every athlete lists with me at 6:30 in the morning, and all our coaches are on board, our superintendent's on board, our school board's on board, and all the boys we all lift at 6:30. Doesn't matter what sport. And then in the fall, if you don't play football, you're in cross country. And then right now, if you're not in basketball, you're wrestling or powerlifting. And then once that's over, if you're not in baseball, you're in track. And so, we're able to do it all. And then on top of that, Bryce was a beast last year. And, a lot of people don't know that we got Bryce's younger brother, Todd Drummond, coming right behind him, who he's going to be just as good a quarterback. And he's already 6'4", and he's a better natural thrower. He's a different quarterback than Bryce, but he can sling it. And those guys have the work ethic, and they are constantly – I bet they go 3 or 4 times a week to their quarterback coach, and they're always calling, hey, Mason, you want to go? Hey, Dalton, you want to go? And I'm just amazed at our kids, the way these kids around here work. And that's the reason we've been able to turn the program around, because these kids like Jack Long and Dalton Hurd, these guys, they're like, Bryce or Todd will call them, and they're like, yeah, let's go. I just got done. Hang on, I'll be done. I got basketball practice. Can we go after basketball practice? So they've already lifted that day. They've already gone to school. They go to basketball practice. They go throw. I mean, they're just ate up with it, and that's all they do is sports. And they just work until they've turned themselves into athletes. So I'm super happy for Mason. We got to laugh. I got to laughing with him yesterday afternoon after he just funny you said the thing about the colors. He walked into lifting. So since it's all icy and we're out of school, we moved lifting back to 2:00, and he rolls in, and my D-line coach says, dang, you didn't, because I told him that he got offered, or he was going to get offered. I said, you already commit? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, well, you're wearing their colors. He had on Pawhuska gear. But so he was teasing him about the colors like you were talking about. But, he walked in and he started talking about it. And he's like, I said, hey, aren't you glad your freshman year when you came to me and you really wanted to just concentrate on basketball? Didn't know if you wanted to play football anymore. Aren't you glad I didn't let you? He's like, yeah, I'm real glad. But yeah, and I hate when kids do that. It breaks my heart when I see. And a lot of times it might be misguided. It's usually misguided direction from a family member or from a AAU coach, or hopefully not their high school coaches, but they get misguided. And you talked about it. Coach Gundy loves those multi-sport athletes. I do USA football, and I travel around the country once we can get going again, once the pandemic's over. And I try around, and I'm gone every weekend, and I do clinics on. I do speeches to the parents and the players on recruiting and things. One of the things we talk about, you need to play everything. One, you don't get a chance once you're out of school. You're out of school. I mean, shoot, when you're old like me, heck, you just wish you'd have done more. But there's nothing I can get them bigger, faster, and stronger. That's not an issue. The deal is I can't teach you to compete laying underneath a bench press. You know, you're standing out in the middle of that wrestling mat, or you're on that basketball court, and there's 3 seconds left to go in the game. Do you want the rock in your hand or not? And learning how to compete, I think, is the biggest thing kids need to be doing right now. And our kids do it here. I think it's a big reason we've turned the program around. Our Summer Pride program this summer, all our girls, our superintendent, David Cash, is also our girls basketball coach. And he bought in too. And so all our girls athletes were at Summer Pride. And it's showing up in all our sports, our school district. It's just, Pawhuska is a great place to be, and especially when you got kids like Mason Gilkey.
And you got a bunch of them, because that's his class. It'll be seniors next year that went through, like you said, that lured you from over at Locust Grove, that went through 8th grade and hadn't lost a game. So, Matt, you've done a terrific job there, and I know the folks are excited, and I'm excited because I got to get Coach Ivan, or Doc Ivan, to let me go back to my schedule of high school on Fridays and college on Saturdays. But I appreciate the time. Congratulations. I'll say the same thing I said to Mason. And here's the other thing, folks. The last week, Matt's been sending out, stuff on social media, trying to let all the coaches, everybody that out there, know that he's got kids there. And that's a coach that's trying to do the best for his kids. So I appreciate seeing you do that, and I know the kids and the parents and everybody does too.
Well, appreciate it, Robert. When you get to town, give us a call first. We'll make sure you get a good table with Pioneer Woman so you can go get you some good food.
And I think you can probably do that. You're in pretty good with the Pioneer Woman. All right, hey, I appreciate it.
Thanks,
I appreciate it, Matt. All right, Matt Hennessey, head coach at Pawhuska, and again, Mason.